Hi, this is Lamar, and you're listening to Getting to Third Space with Lamar and Tom. A third space is a term that refers to a safe space for people to come together for respectful dialogue in a spirit of listening, sharing, and learning. In this podcast, we explore what it means to have third space conversations, and we try to model them. If you like what you hear in this podcast, please be sure to subscribe, share it, and of course, like it. The more people join us, the quicker we get to third space as a society. Now let's get to third space today.
Boom. Here we are. Hey, good morning, Lamar.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
So people are seeing us in a little bit different way here today.
And how's that, Tom?
That we're in the same space.
That's right.
And we are doing absolutely unabashed placement marketing.
Okay,
of
if you
a book
say so.
We wrote together.
That's right.
30 years ago.
Has it been that long ago?
Yeah.
We were young and dumb and thought we could do it.
Yeah, we did. And we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. So anyway, yeah. So how you been?
It's been good. So we are actually here visiting you in Maryland.
In beautiful, very wet.
Today's very wet.
Very wet, Frederick.
We've had a very, very good time as far as the weather goes and places to see and getting out. But today, it's a good day to do a podcast because it's wet. The geese are neck deep out in your in the back area where the ponds are.
I mean, even the geese are wearing life buoys.
I noticed
out
that.
There. Yes, they're bouncing around in the water and they've got little floaties and stuff like that. I love the one, in fact, that is wearing the goose. Yeah. It has not the goose, the swan.
It's got the
swan. Yeah.
Yep. We'll have to post a picture of that one. So,
yeah. Well, AI could help us with that.
We do depend on AI every once in a while. We've done some interesting things since we've been here.
We have. We have. We've traveled to Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
That's right. That was yesterday, I think it was.
No, 2 days.
2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago?
It was Monday.
All right, and that was fun.
Beautiful town.
Yeah, and we was Hagerstown yesterday.
Hagerstown,
and we went to their art museum,
which is remarkably beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
So we did that. We've seen some scenery.
Yeah, bit of scenery.
Yeah. We have been making breakfast here every morning.
Yeah, and occasionally making lunch here.
Yeah.
Actually, we've done a lot of our meals here.
Right.
When it comes down to it. Yeah. But tonight, I think we're going to try to go do barbecue or something like that. We aren't sure what exactly, but
we're having a good time.
Yeah.
And
it's been really nice.
My wife Carla and I, we camped our way out here.
Yeah.
In a little camper, and we heading out tomorrow. We're going to camp our way home.
Yep. And I've gotten a really close look at the camping life.
and you said what?
I said, Lamar, I think maybe I'm not talented enough for the camping life. But at the same time, we've been able to go down to Beckley's, which is a big camper store here, because you had a couple issues you had to resolve with. Right. This was the maiden voyage. For this little camper.
Yeah. So we picked up a second camper for my fishing trips, basically. Yeah. And it's a little teardrop, and it says it's a 2-person camper.
Yeah.
But you really got to love the person that you're with.
Pretty important.
That's pretty important. And so we're just figuring out all the unique traits of this particular camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we're fine.
It's a really cute camper. And yesterday, when we were down to Beckley's, we got to see a 2025 version of this camper.
Right. So it's a new camp, tab 320. We saw the 2025 version, and it's gorgeous.
And it has a bathroom and shower.
That's right. Mine does not.
No.
Again, it's a fishing camper.
Yes. Which, you would say if you're going fishing in it, a shower might actually be a really good thing.
There is an outside shower.
Okay.
But it's you got to pick where you're camping.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
That's really good.
And I get it. Camping is not for everyone, and I wouldn't recommend it for people who aren't able to kind of fix the things that might go wrong.
Oh, so I'm in that category. That's me. So, yeah, it's been really nice. We did get to watch one Fever game.
We did,
and we missed the one last night because we're watching stand-up comedy.
Seriously, do you think we would watch up stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
And we're both fans of the Dry Bar series.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so, so we had a good time last night.
And we found a really funny guy last night, right? So, Lamar, people have been telling me that you look like an owl.
Why is that?
Or was it the joke you remind me of an owl? I forget what. But anyway, look, his name's Matt Falk.
Yeah.
And look him up on YouTube or whatever. But very, very funny. He had this great joke about owls.
And I was supposed to respond, who? And I didn't.
Yeah.
Old dad jokes.
But check him out. He's a Canadian comic. He's a pretty clean comic, actually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And but you have to check him out. He's a lot of fun. So a few years ago, Lamar and I wrote a book together.
Many years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to point that out in case you hadn't seen it back then.
I saw it on your shelf over there, and I saw this empty spot on the desk. I said, I think we need to put something there. And then I said, let's put the book there.
Product placement.
We think you can find it in the used going out of off the shelves bookstores, maybe for $1. But we had a good time writing. We had a good run with it.
Actually, and we had some schools that used it.
Yep.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. So colleges, not elementary schools.
Okay.
I just want to be clear.
I wasn't aware of that.
No elementary schools, but I think you told me there was a college that was using it.
Oh, yeah. There was. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that. But no, so colleges have referenced it, and a lot of, like pastors and youth workers, et cetera, also used it.
Yeah.
Which is the audience we were writing for.
Right. How do you engage with people that may be hurting?
Well, Tom, we've had a good time, and we're still having a good time, but something that we both recognize is that it's been a difficult few weeks for us and for the country, and for people we know, and that's something we kind of want to look at today a little bit.
Yeah, we do, and I think it's fair to say that the past week has been rough. I know it's been really rough for the country.
Yeah.
It's been a little rough for you as well.
Personally, it's been pretty rough too. Within a day, a member of our community was killed in a tragic car truck accident. Someone that I knew, and someone that I respected, and knew his family really well, and that's been tough. It just seems like our close friends at that time period, within a couple of weeks, lost significant members of their family. And then, and I'm always really sensitive to mass shootings, just because of my history, my past. Yeah. And I heard about the Evergreen shooting in Colorado at the school, the student who shot a couple of students there and was looking for other people to shoot, and then eventually took his own life. And then that was the same day as the Charlie Kirk assassination shooting. All of that just really felt very heavy, and it is heavy. Yeah. I posted some of my own thoughts on that, just to kind of get me through that time, which has been helpful, I think. But as we come together here, there's some things that I think we might want to talk about. That could be helpful, because we talk about positive dialogue, being able to communicate in a healthy way, and all of the tools that go along with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was aware of the Evergreen shooting, but in terms of the news cycle, it just got buried.
It did.
by the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And for those of you that, if you have been asleep the last week and haven't looked at any news, Charlie Kirk was a young man, age 31, who at age 18 started a conservative political movement to try to reach young people. And he became very popular as a podcaster and as a speaker. He has been very influential in the current Trump administration. And one of the things he liked to do was to go to college campuses and have like an open debate with people. And students would step up and they would try to debate him on issues. And it was during one of these debates that a young man who the suspect has been identified as a young man by the last name of Robinson from St. George, Utah, shot him and killed him. Mm-hmm. And I have not looked at. I know that the film of that shooting had over 40 million views in just a few minutes. It was amazing. I haven't seen it. I don't care to see it.
I don't care to see it as well. I saw just part of the intro right up to the shooting part.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
But he was speaking and having this interaction in front of a crowd of about 3,000 students and probably professors and staff and community people. And what a terrible thing to have happen. I've, right there, you were part of it, as a attendee, and that was extremely traumatic. Yeah, for them. Yeah. As well as he's not only is he a young man, but he's got a young family. So it's a tragic story all the way around. I think a good friend of mine has been writing a Facebook post, kind of a blog, using it as a blog, and trying to just process the loss of life and the quality of loss of life. Is any one life more important than another life? And just having that conversation, which I think is a good one. But that kind of hits me when I think about that same day, the shooting at the Evergreen High School in Colorado, and other types of violent deaths that were unnecessary. Yeah, but but Charlie Kirk has got a lot of play news-wise.
Yeah, and if you've listened to our podcast, you probably know that our ideology would not align with Charlie Kirk's. And if you're familiar with some of the statements he's made and some of the positions he's held, our ideology doesn't align. That being said, we appreciate the fact that he was trying to engage people. Mm-hmm. And because that's what we're trying to do, you know, and so we don't want to say, well, bad on him for doing that. Even though we don't agree with him, with his positions, we are glad that he was trying to engage people. Now, we're going to talk more about that after, because we're not really sure if our approach to engagement would be his.
Correct.
But
and I'm not sure I'm ready to say that I don't agree with everything.
Okay. Okay.
But I do think I do appreciate the attempt to get people engaged in a conversation about or engaged in some sort of dialogue about what's important to us as a country, as individuals, as families. And my concern is that these kinds of traumatic or tragic events will interfere with our ability to see more of that happening.
Right.
I'm hoping that's not the case, but my gosh, to be able to step out and have these conversations and have these dialogues is going to be one has to think 3, 4, 5 times before doing it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we had some conversations about, we really wrestled for days as we were traveling around. We would chat about this. What do we say on the podcast about it?
Right.
How do we talk about it? We want to be respectful of Charlie Kirk and his family. He left a young family behind. We want to be respectful of his right to be able to say and to hold the positions that he did, whether or not we agree with him. Mm-hmm. And yet at the same time, there's some things that I think need to be kind of pulled out of this a little bit.
I think one thing that we've talked about, I think that is important to understand, is that there are different ways to have dialogue. There's different ways to approach conversation and to approach topics.
Right.
We have chosen, this whole podcast that we're doing is about what we've termed, and others have termed, third space.
Yeah.
Trying to create an environment where it's safe, it's healthy, it's one that we express what we are feeling and what we're thinking in a safe way, but also that we're listening and respecting and learning from others.
Right.
That's our goal.
Right. And we've often attached to that a phrase that you brought in this conversation several months ago, that I think you borrowed from somebody else along the way.
It wasn't mine.
That the winning has to come off the table.
Right.
And that's been a primary driver of the kind of conversation we're talking about. It's not about winning. Right. It's not about proving your position and convincing the other person.
But there is a place for that.
Yeah.
And
sure.
there's a time for that.
Sure.
So I would propose that what Charlie Kirk and others may be doing is more on the line of what would be called a debate.
Yeah.
And I think it's a valid approach. But the purpose of a debate is to keep winning on the table.
That's right.
Right?
It's right there.
Yeah. And the idea is to be able to convince somebody or to even win a contest over my ideas versus your ideas.
And let's be really honest about what Charlie Kirk was about, and he was unabashed about this, that he was trying to win over people to his position and his ideology. And as you rightly pointed out, there's nothing wrong with that. But I also have people talk about, well, it was a great loss because he tried to have dialogue with people. I don't think there was much dialogue there. I think it was about debate. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. We're not condemning the debate, but let's be clear that debate is one thing and dialogue is something else.
Right.
And so I don't know that Charlie ever went into any of those things thinking that he might change his position. What if he began to agree with the person across the table?
I think part of how a debate might be different from what we're proposing is that not only do I want to win or prove my side, I also want to prove your points as being wrong.
That's right.
And so that adds another level of complexity to this, right?
It does. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about our traveling around a little bit.
Oh,
and
were we having debates, Tom?
Yeah, debates about the GPS.
So yeah, to be truly honest, I'm a Garmin guy. I like the Garmin mapping system and the GPS system.
I'm a Google Maps guy.
Tom is a cell phone guidance guy. And I'm a true GPS guidance guy.
Now, truth be told, I like Garmin for golf. I mean, it's great for golf. Google does nothing for golf.
Okay.
Well, we had some interesting conversations about which way we should go there,
Right. And I did make the comment that there are many ways to get to the same place, Tom. And they're all good.
Wow. I mean, you sounded like the Dalai Lama in that moment.
But
it was fun.
That's the same idea can be true. And here's where I think third space conversations are about. There are many ways to get to the same
That's
point.
Right. That's right.
And being able to say, okay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
That's respecting the other person's point of view and learning from it versus it's my way or the highway.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But as we talked last night, we were talking about that not always are third space conversations the most appropriate.
Oh, that's right.
There are times,
Yeah.
and at least what I was thinking about that was that there are times when issues of safety, maybe ethics, come into play that make it important to really stake out. This is a position that has to be considered.
Yeah. So if I think of it as a risk assessment.
Yeah.
If the risk is really high,
yes,
that it may not be appropriate to have a third space conversation.
That's right.
It may be more appropriate to have a debate style conversation, or it may be power and influence comes into play more.
I was thinking of command and control.
There we go. That's the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, if stop and think about it. If you're in a let's take the common movie theater scenario, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're in a movie theater, and somebody says, "Hey, there's a fire that's broken out. So should we have a third space conversation about this?"
No.
Or should we have a debate? Is it a real fire? Is it a big enough fire? Or do we just say, "Get out"? I mean, I mean, we're realistic. In case people are wondering, is it always and only about third space conversations? We're pragmatic about that. The ultimate thing we want to do, whenever possible, is, and especially over challenging issues that are really deep rooted, and where there is that time and that opportunity, we want the third space conversations.
Right.
Risk management, that was a nice term, but the higher the risk,
right,
then we have to change.
So I think it comes about is when there's a point where maybe decisions have to be made.
Yes.
And there's a point where maybe picking a better option or a better belief system or a better idea, someone has to make that call.
Yeah.
So a third space conversation may lead up to a different kind of a conversation as well. Yeah. So you may be having civil dialogue.
Yeah.
But the point comes where maybe, Tom, you're saying, okay, I've heard, we've had this conversation, but I have the responsibility now to make a call.
Yeah. Well, actually, we've both been in those positions,
very much.
Of leadership, right? I mean, that is really a leadership function.
It is.
Mm-hmm. We often one of the ways that I think of leadership is that a leader many times is a sense maker of what is going on, right. And they take in the information in as much as possible. My leadership style is, I'm going to check in with everybody. I want to get a sense. And if we can do it by consensus, that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But if there's no consensus and a decision has to be made, then I'm still going to take in as much information as I can. And in the end, I'm going to have to say, this is the direction we need to go. And that's okay, because that's part of the sense-making process. You're taking in the information, you're analyzing it, you're processing it, you're synthesizing it, and then finally a decision has to come out. And if you've had that third space conversation and you've gathered that information, and there's something you still need to do that is maybe contrary to what the other person is thinking or feeling, then integrity says you need to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's kind of bleed this over into the political realm, because I think we've touched on this.
This is not a political time, is it? I mean, is there anything
not much
in politics?
But we've talked about the difference between a democracy, republic, and what we think the whole purpose of our democracy is about now.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there is a time in politics, an important time in politics, to have that third space conversation.
Yes.
And that's why we elect people to have those conversations in government.
Yes.
Right. That's my intent on who I vote for, is I want those individuals to have that conversation, to get all the information out, to understand the issue at a very large, broad view at level, and then make the best decision based off of that. How are we doing with that, Tom?
You saw me over here grinning,
I did
right?
see you grinning over there.
Oh, boy. We're not doing well with that.
Right.
that is, I think that at the very heart of a democracy, that is why we participate in the democratic process, and that is why we vote for people. Is our expectation, regardless of where they are on the political spectrum, is that they will go in, they will engage, they will talk, they will listen, and working with others, they will come up with the very best solution. We don't vote them in to come in and to be the decider.
But do we now?
Well, that's a good question. I don't.
And I don't either.
Yeah.
And we've had local politicians from the state of Kansas on.
Yeah.
And they have talked about their experience where they've had good collaboration.
Yes. Across the aisle.
Across the aisle.
Yeah.
And making decisions that way. But on the other side of that,
yeah.
I've been to some of those local meetings where they have hosted community meetings, and I've seen and I've heard, people who are very one-sided in what they want.
Yeah.
They want them, and it doesn't matter what side that is. They want them to vote the way that on their issue, the way that they want them to vote.
That's right.
Versus, we want you to go in and solve something.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And that's my concern. And I'm unabashedly, I will vote for the people I think can do that. And I'm not looking, first of all, at what party they're affiliated with, although eventually that probably comes into play at some levels. But I'm really wanting people who have that capacity to have those relationships.
I was just thinking about some of the politicians that were in leadership in Iowa when we were growing up, mm-hmm. and I think three come to mind that for me they would not represent the party that I would be voting for today. Robert Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Leach. And you're gonna kind of like, what? When I say this name, Charles Grassley.
Okay.
Yeah, because Robert Ray was masterful at really working, and people loved him.
Yeah, people
Democrats
loved him. I remember
and
this.
Republicans, they loved Robert Ray. Jim Leach was a senator. Was a senator? No, he was a representative. He was the chair of the banking committee. Brilliant guy, out of Iowa City, which is a Democratic stronghold. Mm-hmm. But Jim Leach, as a Republican, was reelected year after year after year out of Iowa City and out of that area, and because he had that ability. When Charles Grassley first ran, way back even in the state, and even in the Congress, he did that too.
Okay.
But not so much these days. Something has been lost there, I think, for him.
Well, and that can be a topic maybe of another show. Where are the pressures at this point coming from, and kind of how that plays out?
Yeah.
But I want to get back to what you were really referencing is, I think both of us are looking for people to be in those positions who have the capacity to be able to debate, but mm-hmm. also to be able to have their face conversations that maybe lead into debate and eventually lead into decision making that's for the best of the country.
Right.
So that's the whole democratic process. At the state level, we elect directly.
Yeah.
But at the national level, we elect representatives to represent us.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago when the benefit of the doubt was given to Congress.
Right.
That in the back rooms that these conversations were taking place.
Right.
Today, when I hear members of one party or the other saying, well, we still have those conversations, I have a harder time believing it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like party loyalty has trumped everything.
I think that's a concern that we all have.
Yeah.
The impact that this has on us, when I think about the things that Charlie Kirk was talking about, that maybe I didn't agree on totally, but maybe I agreed on some of those that he was talking about. When I think about how his rhetoric and how his death is now being used politically, yes. That really concerns me, because it's not about what's best. It's about how can we leverage an event
Yeah.
To kind of bolster our side. Whichever side you're on, there's leverage happening. And to me, that's concerning. I would wish. So in my home area, there was an event that happened a couple of days ago, a vigil for Charlie Kirk, which is fine. I think they said around 200 people showed up, which is fine. I think those events make sense in some ways. I would wish those same events were happening for the school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who is more deserving than innocent people who are being killed when they go to school?
Yeah.
That we would have the same level of compassion and empathy and sense of loss, because life is valuable across the spectrum, not just as to how popular a person is. So that's my statement that right now I'm going to stand behind. And I'd be happy to have more conversation about that sometime.
You know what? You said something that just made me. You said that something about how his death is being used. To me, that is a re-victimization of Charlie Kirk and his family. Whether that using his death comes from the left or the right, in either case. I mean, Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. Our kids are just a little older than that.
That's right.
Right? And I cannot imagine the pain of a young family or his parents of losing a son at age 31. That's horrible. I mean, that is absolutely horrible. And I think whether you're on the right or you're on the left, and you're using the death of Charlie Kirk to push forward your agenda, I just want to say, don't.
Right.
Let his family grieve. Let his friends grieve. Let him be. And, history will write what his contribution has been, whether for the good or for the ill. But respect him enough to not use him right now and to use his death. I think that's really sad.
I think it's a really good summary. I think also in summary, we wanted to make sure we pointed out there's different kinds of conversation.
Yep.
Third space, civil dialogue, and civil dialogue can also be part of debate.
That's right.
I used to a few years ago judge debate. In high school, would bring judges in, and I loved it. It was fascinating. But what was not happening in those cases was kind of what's happening now, and that is tearing people down versus tearing ideas apart.
That's right.
Now it's about tearing people down. And so I think we have a lot to learn, and we can do better. We're better than this. But it seems like we can't get out of the ditch on either side right now. So I encourage us to do that. So Tom, let's change track here a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of ditches, go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of ditches, they're full of water right now.
Thank God.
And
and
you're not, by the way, you're not golfing while we're here.
No, I'm not golfing. I mean, that's what you mean to me, Lamar.
I know.
I give up the golfing for. I mean, otherwise I'd have been like, well, hey, I'm going to leave at 5:30 in the morning. I'll be back at 3.
I have been learning a lot about golf from you. And by the way, I learned a couple of things. Do you know why? You listen to golf on TV, and the announcers are just hushed, quiet tones. Do you know why that is?
Is it a joke?
I don't know.
Is this a setup for a joke? Well, okay, yes, I do. I do know why.
I have an answer too, but go ahead.
So you have announcers in the studio, and they're really watching it on a big screen, and they are not usually speaking in hushed tones. But you have at key holes throughout the golf course, you have correspondents are there, and they're commentating, and of course, when the pros are playing, they'll hold up these quiet signs, and everybody it goes dead. If it doesn't go dead, people can get pretty upset. Pros can get pretty upset about it. So
golfers are pretty sensitive. But what I learned was the reason they speak so quietly.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Because they don't want to wake up the observers.
I know it. I knew it.
Yeah.
They don't want to wake up. Yeah.
They don't want to wake up the gallery.
Oh, Lamar. Okay.
All right.
That was pretty good, though.
I've been waiting for this set that one up.
So speaking of wet ditches.
Yeah.
So today we were supposed to go to the Great Frederick Fair.
That's right. That's on the agenda for today.
Yeah, it is. And, as it's like pouring rain.
We might be the only ones there.
We might. Well, get to hang out with the cows. Actually, it's a cool fair. It started in 1822.
Okay.
Which, we're from Iowa. We love the Great Iowa. the Iowa Fair,
fantastic
State Fair, which is an amazing fair. But this thing is 50 years older than the Iowa State Fair, and it's pretty big for a county fair. It really is. So we're hoping to go to the county fair today. Let's see, we had harness racing on the menu.
Yeah,
hanging out in animal barns on the menu, eating things that probably are not fit for human consumption as well.
We still make it to, make it.
We might make it.
So this afternoon, late afternoon, was harness racing.
No, it starts at noon.
Oh, so noon.
Yeah.
Harness racing.
Tonight is the demolition derby.
Demolition derby, that's right.
And figure eight racing. Like that. So, yeah. Well, we'll just have to see how it all unfolds.
All right.
And what our spouse's tolerance is from mud up to the knees. So
today, the idea, we didn't want to leave you short. We wanted you to get in on our experience today. And it's so rare that we're together and be able to do a podcast.
Yeah.
So we had good fun putting this together. And also, there's a lot to talk about, and we want to encourage people to have civil conversation about things that maybe are somewhat divisive sometimes.
Yeah.
It's all around us right now.
And I want to give a shout out to my friend Tom, my neighbor, one of my Ohio State fan neighbors. His wife is getting out of the hospital today after major surgery recently, and he really wanted to sit in on this and watch what we do. And when he asked me that, I look at him and go, "Really? I mean, this is pretty." Yeah.
We would have had a gallery.
We would have had a live audience. But his priorities are with his wife today,
Absolutely.
and so we hope Diane has a quick recovery.
Good.
And full recovery. So.
All right. Well, hey, it's been great. And
likewise.
We're here. We're going to leave in the morning
and
head down to Virginia. So we've appreciated the time with you and your spouse.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun. So maybe off to the fair.
We'll see where we go.
Talk to you next week,
All right,
Lamar.
You bet. Talk to you later.
Tom here. Thank you for listening to Getting to Third Space with Lamar and Tom. Remember to click on subscribe to get notices about new episodes, and be sure to like and share the podcast as well. Opinions and ideas expressed in this podcast are solely those of Lamar Roth and Tom Klaus, and we'd like to hear your opinions and ideas too. You can leave us a voice message on Spotify, or you can email us at the addresses found in the show notes. Also, in the show notes, you can find links to some of the things we talked about today, so you can check them out yourself. Until next time, keep moving forward toward third space.
This show is powered by Too Much Colombian Coffee.